Right, let's move to the next objective. We had a lot of fun making this next playlist. One clue, it centers on one of the most famous car models of all time. Here we go.
The biggest car culture festival on Earth. Of course, the #1 in the world.
Of course, we're all huge Porsche fans, and it means a lot to us to have such an incredible manufacturer joining the adventure.
Trying to go on the outside, but he goes through immediately.
Diversity with the 911. We had no choice but to reveal it to you. To the next objective. Porsche agreed to send us some of their most interesting models for you to try out. Shipping from Stuttgart, Germany to Hawaii took a little bit longer than they thought, so they've actually just arrived. The Porsche brand embodies power and performance, but it's also about elegance and style. So when you get behind the wheel of a 911, you've got to behave accordingly. Clean driving gets your bonus at the end of each event. The cleaner you drive, the bigger your bonus will be. So even during a race, drive clean, take care of your car, and beat your opponents with finesse. over. In the 1960s and 70s, private racers adapted their Porsche 911 to compete in rally races all over Europe, a testament to the versatility of their design. Porsche, not to be outdone, officially entered some of their own tweaked 911s to the rally circuit. Porsche originally sold their 959s at around $225,000. Nowadays, some sell for almost $6 million. Take good care of it. cars are synonymous with raw power, and American-made motors are some of the most powerful out there. We wanted you to experience how Porsche measures up against some other iconic automotive powerhouses.
I've never owned a V12, but I'd say my dream car now is a Ferrari F12 TDF, which is an
The
N8.
car you'll be driving is the 911 Turbo 3.6, one of the most famous sports cars in the world. Get ready to face off against some muscle car monsters.
V12, but it's front engine, but I think they're unbelievable.
You're going up against some tough muscle cars, but you're still driving a Porsche. So take care of it and avoid collisions as much as possible.
Death trap, savage looking things, and I'd love to drive one or own one.
Beautiful. I'd go for 812 Competizione just simply because that is the most aggressive looking Ferrari in the world. I just think it's so sick. I'll probably get hung, drawn and quarter for saying it.
I could drive this good.
to our podcast.
That savage looking things, then I'd love to drive one. Or own one.
Beautiful. I would go for 812 Competizione just simply because that is the most aggressive.
You know, Porsche's manufacturers are in Stuttgart, Germany. Do you know what's special with Germany when it comes to driving cars? Yes, autobahns with no speed limit driving. So we provided you with a speed powerhouse to drive Hawaii's highway. So drive fast and drive clean.
Ferrari in the world, I just think it's so sick. I'll probably get hung drawn a quarter for saying this. I actually prefer it over the TDF. I prefer the 812, so sorry. What's happening, guys? My name is Becky Evans and welcome to Motorfest, the podcast brought to you by...
It's all right.
Back to the interview.
After trying Porsches on the streets and back roads, there's only one place left to try.
TDF, I prefer the 812, so sorry. What's happening, guys? My name is Becky Evans and welcome to Motorfest, the podcast brought to you by Red Bull and Ubisoft's iconic game, the Crew Motorfest.
The racetrack is where the 911 and its engineering really shine. We got our hands on the GT3 Cup, a model designed with track racing in mind. It's It's one of the fastest cars Porsche has ever made.
This is the podcast where I get to chat with some of the world's leading motorsport athletes and delve into their passions for all things speed, wings and wheels. And the really cool thing is, you can actually listen into this podcast whilst you're playing the game. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking to talented mountain biker and YouTuber Matt Jones. He describes himself as a master of all trades.
And don't forget, this playlist is all about clean racing.
And proud philosopher. A quick look at his YouTube, which is 900,000 subscribers strong, gives us an idea of how passionate and dedicated he is about his job, his career as a pro mountain bike rider, and of course his famous love for...
I'll send them the bill. I could drive this good.
The podcast continues.
I hope after driving all the Porsches under the rainbow, you've gotten a real feel for them.
Of all trades,
We're going to Diamond Head. You got some people waiting for you there. I believe you've made quite an impression on some of Porsche's big shots.
and proud philosopher. A quick look at his YouTube, which is 900,000 subscribers strong, gives us an idea of how passionate and dedicated he is about his job, his career as a pro mountain bike rider, and of course his famous love for all things automobiles. He has got quite the incredible garage, and we're going to find out exactly what's hiding in there. Let's start the show. Matt, it's an absolute pleasure to
This face-off will be tough, so get ready.
have you on Motorfest, the podcast. How are you?
Yeah, good. What a time, eh? Yeah, buzzing to be on this. Thank you.
We're going to jump straight into the questions today, which is one question that I ask all of my guests. If you could be a car, a plane, a boat, or a bike, with or without a motor, which would you be and why?
I wouldn't be a plane. I don't think I'd be a car either, or a bike, because they just live in the back of a van. I think I'd be a boat. It looks pretty chill and you just waft around, don't you? Even when you're not.
Welcome. I'm glad you could join. This is Jake, our test driver on the island. Fancy a little showdown? This is your ride. And don't worry about scratching the car this time. Just drive as you please.
There's a reward vehicle waiting for you. As a prize, we had to choose one car to give you from the Porsche lineup. As you may have just found out, trying to pick a favorite is incredibly tough. But we did it! Congratulations! Your very own Porsche 911 Carrera 4S. Top of the line and ready to hit the roads. Playlist is ready to try. Let's go try it. Playlist cleared and ready.